Back. If you're new, welcome, of course. If not, welcome back. I'm Alex, and I already have a channel on YouTube. It's called Alex N Channel. A lot of reactions over there, documentaries as well, music, a lot of music and a lot of bands. I'm going to leave the link in the description if you want to go and show some support as well on that channel. And of course, why not? See a lot of videos. There is Patreon down below if you want to support this one. But here on this new channel, we're going to do something else. We're going to have a lot of documentaries about the singers, songs, bands, and today is going to be a little bit different. Why is that? Because on my main channel and this one, I saw a lot of amazing voices in Philippines, and I started to wonder what happened in that country. And I found this documentary over here, which you're going to find the original link down below. The channel is called Life Where I'm From, so go and show some support over there and appreciation for this amazing work. It's part one, and I'm curious how it's life in Philippines actually, and maybe understand the culture, the food, how the hell the voices are so good over there, because people, I mean, doing karaoke or just singing on the streets is something outstanding. So yeah, I hope you're gonna be with me on this channel to have a lot of reaction as well to music, but see something else, a different part of the band, singers, countries, and maybe understand more. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna hit play and let's see what and how it's going to be. Again, I want to show my appreciation to this channel, Life Where I'm From. I repeat, the original video, you can find it in the description. And yeah, it's gonna be his perspective. I don't know how real it's going to be, so you guys can help me as well to understand how, or maybe what is real, or maybe we get something wrong over here. But I'm curious. There were those markets over there, really nice, man. I would love to visit Philippines, honestly.
I'm going to start my trip with my number one worry, which was safety. Despite looking Filipino to some, I am in fact not Filipino, but I figured with my 5'4" height, okay, 5'3½", that my short stature, black hair, and tan complexion would enable me to blend in a bit better than your average Westerner. Why was I worried about safety? Because countless Filipinos told me to watch out for scammers and pickpockets. And the first scam to watch out for was taxi drivers, so I installed Grab. Fun fact, Uber used to be in the Philippines, but they decided to exit the Southeast Asian market and leave it to Grab. Okay. But in exchange, they own part of Grab, so in a sense, they're still here. Now, Grab seemed good, but this lineup for the Grab booth at the airport did not. I was kind of confused because I thought the app was supposed to negate having to line up. So I was conflicted because the Japanese resident part of me said, respect the line. But on the other hand, I had been waiting for 15 minutes without much movement, so I did something bold and decided to actually use the app. And what do you know? The driver came and I was safely riding on my way to my Airbnb. I had asked my Grab driver if it was okay to film outside the window while driving, and while on the highway, he let me do this. But when we got into the streets,
okay, can I close it?
He was eager to get the window closed, as he said you never know who might pop by and snatch my camera. Now, the Airbnb was a private residence in a condo tower on the edge of Makati, so like many of these places, there were security guards. Somehow the gun and checkpoints weren't making me feel safer. Interestingly, mall security guards are required to carry guns.
Well, that was
I've heard the word security theater tossed around, and if you haven't heard that word before, it's used to describe a situation where it feels like the security is keeping you safe, but in fact, they're really not. On numerous occasions, I was let through without any inspection, and with every inspection, the checks were cursory. I didn't hide anything dangerous in my camera bag, but if I had, not one of the security guards would have found anything. And then there were places where one entrance was guarded, but a side entrance was not. There were also times where I just negotiated my way through things. If you walk the walk or talk the talk, you can be given a pass. So I don't know, I've got to believe that most Filipinos know that these guards aren't doing much in terms of security.
That's not good.
But perhaps they've been part of the landscape so long that they've
place.
become accustomed to it. And hey, maybe they are deterring some types of crimes with their presence. I don't know. One warning I had from locals was to wear my backpack in front of me, as there are lots of thieves in Manila. Indeed, I saw the locals were
there are a lot
following
of
this
thieves
advice.
everywhere.
If you've lived in or visited the Philippines, what do you think? Out in the provinces, when you went to someone's local barangay, my local tour guides seemed to ease up on their dire safety warnings. Barangay, by the way, is the smallest local government unit. There are over 42,000 barangay in the Philippines, which means on average, there is one per every 2,500 Filipinos. So you'll find barangay halls, which can, but don't always, look like this, all over the place. The people living in a barangay will elect a barangay captain. This level of government is empowered to enforce all laws and ordinances from pollution control and the protection of the environment to eradicating drug and child abuse. Whether or not this happens in a barangay is a different story. What's different than Japan or Canada is that these very local governmental units exist within bigger governmental units like municipalities and cities. In this barangay, they do have someone managing waste and there are waste bins around. Although, while everything is supposed to be separated, it's in fact a jumbled mess. And I don't know what happens to everything that's collected from this point on. If it's anything like waste management systems in Japan or Canada, just because something that can be recycled is collected, it doesn't mean it's recycled. In the local stream nearby, it's clearly not free of trash. And the water's gray from pollution. Beyond the issue of water quality, debris in waterways can clog up storm drains and in the rainy season, exacerbate flooding. Using the waterways as trash dumps is partly due to garbage collection issues. Waste management is supposed to be managed at the
there are a lot
level,
of problems
not all
with this,
barangays have the same system
with the
in
garbage
place, even if they're
as
supposed
well.
to. For example, over here, a business and some residents have to manage waste on their own. This garbage is waiting to go to the dump and is collected once a month. For the plastic bottles, these are recyclable and a little money can be made. And these ducks, they'll produce some eggs. Over here, which looks like it has many informal settlements, it's more haphazard. There's simply waste lying around everywhere. Because of hauling fees and accessibility issues, burning or simply throwing trash into the waterways is a common occurrence. What surprised me was that in this private cemetery, they were also burning garbage. Being private, the place was kept in relatively good order. However, another surprise was the roosters. At the entrance there were some,
Wow, look at that.
but inside was where the more prized ones were kept. This is the Philippines, so there were roosters everywhere.
Nice.
They were hanging out by the garbage dump. They were in someone's yard, and outside of a nice condominium unit.
Gonna stop for a little bit over here. You know, yeah, they are problems with the garbage, with plastic especially, but it's not the only country, I'm sure. I mean, I remember quite some time ago in Naples, in Italy, they were like almost the same. So it's a real big problem in all over the world, in my opinion.
This felt so sad that I just had to wait around and see that maybe, just maybe... Nice one. But back to the cemetery. There are basically 3 levels of burials available. One is in the ground or just above ground. For the wealthiest, there are mausoleums, with some of them even having toilets
Whoa.
inside. And for the poorest, there's apartment tombs.
Toilets inside? Why?
A few minutes walk away was where the public cemetery was located, and while they had the same types of tombs, the contrast between them was stark.
That'd be like here, they put a tarp right over that little area, and that's where they're gonna live.
Like day-to-day live?
Day-to-day live. Like get ready, go to school, come
Wow.
back.
Whoa. And what do you know, looking at articles, it is indeed a thing. And so are they leaving drinks for the people, or are they
No, that's just trash.
So these apartment tombs, they are rented on a 5-year basis. But because of overcrowding, some don't allow the renewal of the space and the bones are broken out. At this point, if the family doesn't claim the bones, they may get left in a rice bag. If the family does have a bit of money, they can rent a smaller bone box, which is not much bigger than a large shoebox. The thing about these apartment tombs is that there's no way to get up unless you climb. So to pay respect to a loved one, you need to literally climb atop the graves of others. As with many things during my trip, this visit to the cemetery wasn't planned, it was simply a place we happened to stroll by and I inquired about. So let's just randomly move on to a cheerier place of gathering, the mall. When I asked the residents of Manila what a popular activity to do outside of work was, the mall was probably the #1 answer. And like any place, I had to get through security first. I honestly didn't spend much more time than I had to in the malls. Beyond my growing dislike of malls and shopping,
it's a big
I just
mall.
found them to be fairly similar to what I can find in North America. Granted, there are shops you won't find elsewhere, and they do have goods that are Filipino. I mean, what
I'm
could be
curious
more
about the
Filipino
food.
than this place? And on this side of the mall, I don't know if there is one food court restaurant I recognized. Well, except for that Pizza Hut. And here, even though we're in a grocery store, there's a bunch of these little food stalls. I mean, I've seen something kind of like this in North America, but just not so many booths. And check out this walkway music.
Well, you know, Filipinos can sing. Of course, there's going to be music all over the place. Man, crazy voices again. And I'm curious, I don't know if he's going to show us in this part because this documentary has two parts. We're going to cover it, both of them. And but I'm curious, not only food, of course, culture as well, the way what happens in Philippines actually. And maybe I can learn to
As I soon
sing.
found out, finding quiet places in Metro Manila would prove challenging. Although, if you went to the much higher end, you could find a bit more calm, like in Greenbelt Mall. In fact, I interviewed a couple people here due to it being one of the quietest areas I could find.
Is it
Wait for
cute?
the bubble tea.
For an hour?
1 hour?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my goodness. I rather liked all the green space where people of all ages, and even their pets, could enjoy.
Nice.
This whole area actually used to be US military land that was then redeveloped. This is also, of course, one of the wealthiest areas in the Philippines, so I'm not surprised it's a nice place. And can I recognize all the Filipinos that love to look at my camera? Is it good? Yeah? It was a mix of hard stares and playfulness. I never knew what I was going to get.
This is the market, I guess.
Hi. Hello.
And I really love how friendly people are.
Unlike the malls, the markets felt very non-North American to me. In Canada, there are markets, but they are more upscale affairs. In comparison, the Pasig and Divisoria markets I went to, these are places that you could go to find a deal. I'm told that many small businesses will come here, then go out to the provinces and resell the goods. And in
That's
comparison
business.
to Japanese markets, these ones in Metro Manila are way more chaotic. There's stuff everywhere, whether it's goods to buy from the stalls, people, or just stuff on the ground.
And there's so many people.
In Divisoria, there's just blocks and blocks of stuff, both outdoors and indoors. The indoor parts somewhat reminded me of Akihabara, where you'd find a bunch of little shops like this inside of a building. Now a word of warning. If you don't like seeing animals being butchered, skip ahead about 60 seconds to get to safety. And here we go.
I don't know if I want to see this part. Oh,
While in Pasig Market,
If they
I
aren't-
followed along
aren't
with
alive,
Nicole
yeah.
and her father as they picked up ingredients for some home-cooked meals.
Bicol Express. Cold yan po talaga gusto mo.
Anong cut?
Ito. 300.
Pang ano to?
Bicol Express.
To tell you the truth, the markets felt like the Wild
oh
West
that's
to
a
me.
whole pig. Wow.
There was a pig head waiting to be made into sisig.
Sisig. Oh, okay.
Blood in the buckets and on the floor. The merchants, though, playful as always.
Well, in Divisoria, you can find the pig on the floor. Here in Pasig, you can find it on the table.
Alright, the butchering meat section is over, so you can open up your eyes again if you had them closed.
Mas pahati sa anim.
So, like, in these places, do you ever negotiate prices, or do you just know the prices, or what?
If you buy from them
but
often, you can bargain for it.
You can get anything from the market. One of our stops was to pick up some oil.
Buy it in a piece.
Another stop was to get pasalubong. Many times, some vendors like to take a bit of a break. All done? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, look how small it is.
Back in Divisoria, we happened by a parade with a bunch of Jesuses, which, as I was to find out, could be found everywhere.
This big one is Santo Niño. We had a feast yesterday, and we celebrated his birth. Yeah, and they had a lot of candies.
Oh wait,
for children.
Santo has candy.
Yeah,
Is this baby Jesus?
yeah. This is Kamay ni Jesus, the hand of God.
And then this is when he was carrying the cross.
Yeah.
And then,
The Holy Family.
so Mary, Joseph, and Jesus?
Yeah,
And then this is,
this is Mary.
That's what you call Santo Niño de Palaboy. That's the one that travels.
Santo Niño.
Oh.
This is Divina Estrella. We have also Immaculate Conception, and then there's Perpetual Help, and all different kinds of Virgin Marys. And then every Holy Week, she gets all dressed up, and then she gets on a carro.
The Philippines is the only majority Christian nation in Asia. Around 80% of the people are Catholic. I was located in the north, which is mostly Catholic. But in the south, there
Wow, I never saw a pink church in my life. That was the first time I saw it, and it was really big as well. And see, I love this documentary because it's you can get some insights how people are, because you know, for my first channel, like I was saying, Alex and channel with the reactions, I have there the TV show, which is The Clones, which I was amazed by it, and other on this channel as well, The Voice Kids. And I was amazed everything only about the voices. But I guess it's important to know the people as well from that country, how they live, what culture they have. And like I was saying, I'm curious about the food as well, prices and everything. For me, it's important, not only the song or the artist or the band. And that's why, again, original video down below, going to show some support to this channel as well. We did this amazing documentary.
is a significant amount of Muslims who reside there. Catholicism, of course, was brought to the Philippines by the Spanish when Magellan first arrived in 1521. Although, after going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole for a couple hours, I discovered that Magellan was in fact Portuguese, but sailing for Spain after quarreling with the King of Portugal. He also never left what was to become the Philippines, as he died fighting against the chieftain of Mactan Island, Lapu-Lapu, just 1 month after his arrival. On June 12, 1898, right here at his home in Cavite, future first president of the Philippines, Emilio Aguinaldo, declared independence. Both the Spanish and the Americans never recognized this, and instead, Spain ceded the Philippines to the United States on December 10, 1898. This wasn't good news for Aguinaldo, since it was the Americans who brought him out of exile from Hong Kong with the promise of an independent Philippines once Spain was defeated. Although it was him who chose exile after Spain paid him and his top revolutionary compatriots to do so in exchange for seizing their revolution. Anyhow, I spent another couple hours trying to figure out the true history of Aguinaldo and whether he's a hero or a traitor, and I give up. He's a controversial figure. What I can tell you though is that his home, the Aguinaldo Shrine, is not only some nice digs, but also has some great mango trees from which you can get free mangoes.
That was a museum, man.
Mango hunter.
Mango hunter! Oh my god!
You got the technique.
Turn around over there.
So in Philippines, free mango, here they cost like an eyeball, honestly.
Oh.
And if you don't mind,
Oh.
and if you don't mind,
Oh, that's how Filipinos do it?
yeah,
I thought you need a knife, but no you don't.
more. Sarap! Matamis siya!
And oh yeah, finally in 1946, the world recognized Philippines' independence.
This I knew.
This was after Japan's defeat in World War II, when America finally came through on that whole independence promise given 48 years before. You can see the influence of those foreign countries as you travel around the Philippines. For example, Intramuros, the old historic part of Manila, is Spanish for within the walls. It was constructed by the Spanish during their colonization period. The name of the Philippines comes from the King of Spain, Philip II.
I
This
didn't know
fridge
that.
over here, it's Japanese surplus. It needs this power converter to adapt it to the 220-volt electricity in the Philippines. These trains, they're Japanese trains as well. Although looking at this PNR train from the outside, you never know. And these cabinets.
This is a Japan surplus.
Really?
Yes, and it's actually the quality is it's new. So
How long
yes,
ago
I
did you
still
buy it?
have the soap from Japan. So there.
And these jeepneys, they're based off of US Jeeps left over from World War II. This generation of jeepney though probably has a surplus Japanese engine under the hood. English that's spoken due to former American rule and education.
This was a thing that I was like wanted to ask. I guess from all the country that I know, Philippines is it's one. I mean, at first place of people who are speaking English, and in an amazing, good, correct way. And I was wondering why, how.
What surprised me was that the Philippines felt a lot more like Canada than it did Japan, despite it being located in Southeast Asia. Like, if you went into a 7-Eleven or Family Mart, both Japanese companies, they don't have a Japanese feel at all. And all the chain restaurant choices, they're more what you'd find in North America than Japan, especially the Japanese fast food
Well,
places.
in Spain you can
So my
find
guess
as
is that
well
the
this.
North American visitor would be way more at home in the Philippines than the Japanese visitor.
Wow, look at this.
Okay, so I know this video is getting long, but I still have so much from my visit to the Philippines to talk about. So for those big topics like family, food,
This is what I want to see.
OFWs, income inequality, and tourism, I'll save it for the next one, because there's no way I'll have time to cover it all in this video. What I'll do right now is do something I'll call side notes, which is just a bunch of my random observations, which I guess you could argue is this whole video. Okay, side notes. For me, in Manila, it was noisy everywhere. In the streets with the vehicles, in the malls with the music, in the restaurants and convenience stores with the music.
Yeah, I understand that it was noisy, but you know, I mean, in Europe, it's the same. If you go to Italy and go to Milan or Naples, it's gonna be like 10 times noisier than what is here, honestly.
Pretty much any indoor place with the music. Even the parks had music. And even in small villages, it could be quite noisy by the streets. I did find, though, that the more upscale places seem to have lower noise levels. And if you
Wow,
got
this
more
is
out
beautiful.
into nature, there was less noise. See? That's because my drone doesn't record audio. I don't remember capturing footage of this, but I did have it happen several times where a Filipino would burst out into song. That's a good type of noise, though. One thing I knew coming in was that I shouldn't drink the water, so I ended up buying a fairly large bottle. I had to constantly remind myself to not use the tap to fill up my water bottle. I did manage to avoid getting a case of the runs, for the most part. I did have a half day where things were iffy, but it could have been worse. I stayed on the top floor of a 25-story condo, which was my Airbnb while in Manila. It was billed as pristine, but the dirty tables and showers said otherwise. Being located in Makati and looking nice on the outside, I was not expecting the cheap construction, like the light wooden door used for the main entrance, the kind of door that's usually used
Well,
for
that
bedroom doors
depends
in Canada.
how much you pay, I guess.
Safety is totally different. For example, this guy on the pole, all by himself, using a ladder that's openly exposed to the street like this, it would never happen in Japan. This glass on the wall, along a small pathway between houses, seems like a big safety risk, especially for the kids traveling around here. But perhaps not as big of a risk as the barbed wires, which are right at kid height. And little kids on motorbikes without helmets? Also a common sight.
Man, these motorcycles are really weird.
Coming from Japan, the standard of cleanliness? There's a huge gap. One thing I noticed was that in the streets of Manila, you'd end up with this kind of greasy smell that permeates your clothing. It's not just the smell though, because when I washed my clothes in the sink with soap, it was gray afterwards. Kind of like this water. Luckily, I devised a makeshift drying system. One thing that Japan and the Philippines seem to share is pasalubong, which is the practice of bringing back a gift when you travel somewhere. In Japan, it's called omiyage. I know in Canada we have the concept of souvenirs, but it's just not to the same level of pervasiveness. Everywhere I went, Filipinos were giving me gifts to bring back home to my family. I had so much stuff, I had to give half of it away to the guards as I had no room in my suitcase. It was really nice of them. By the way, even though I worried about safety while out and about with my gear, I was totally fine. Whether through being smart or
the
through dumb luck,
traffic. Wow.
I don't know. I have so much more to talk about. I really don't know if I'll be able to fit it all into one more video. We'll see. Oh, and in case you missed it, this is actually my second video about the Philippines. My first was about what commuting in Manila was like, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Extra special thanks to all those that showed me around the Philippines. I couldn't have done it without all of you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye. If you've traveled to a country that was quite different than yours, what was your experience like? This is my third video about the Philippines, so if you've missed those two, I've put the links to them in the description. For this video, how about we ease into things by checking out some homes? First off, let's talk with Jordan, who lives with his sister, her husband, and his nephew, who, just so you know, aren't the other people you see in the house footage. Well, how come you don't have lights on right now?
Oh, it's daytime. Yeah, to save energy.
Oh, okay.
To save
We
money.
do that over here as well. I mean,
Is energy expensive?
Yeah, here in Philippines, yeah.
While my camera doesn't show it, it's indeed dark in the house and Jordan is right. Energy is expensive in the Philippines, especially Manila. Okay, and so this
so
is...
Manila, it's more expensive than other parts in Philippines.
You got a nice...
There's a hole in my
a hole.
ceiling. Yeah.
Is that for something? So there's a hole in the ceiling because he's trying to fix a water leak. And this is simply me confirming that those are new shoes on the bed, which they were.
This room is messier because they have a kid here. A lot of things in here because they have a kid in here.
Yeah, and then...
Can you see the toys?
Oh wait, your room's, there's no wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's separated.
Just for the ventilation. This is our bathroom. This is where we poo.
That's your toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you
come on,
can't
man.
just squat over
Everybody,
top of
you
that?
know, manage the
So
way
do
they
you
manage.
use that to clean your bum?
It's life, you
One
know.
hand is like holding the tabo, and then one hand is just washing the butt.
Oh, you use your hand to wash.
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Let's pause my shaky camera for a sec. So I'm told that a typical middle-class house will use the bucket and tabo to wash themselves. There's no shower head, and that you most likely won't have hot water. Everything gets wet, so you'd wear slippers. So this is just
I mean, I guess
right?
depends
Yeah.
the
So it's not like a
from
dishwasher.
the area, from
What they told me is
the
that dishwashers
economical
in the
power
Philippines
that
are not a
family
popular thing.
has. You know,
If
it's
you're not wealthy,
difficult. I mean,
you can't
everywhere
afford
in
one.
Italy,
If you
in
are wealthy,
Spain,
you'd
you
have
can
it
see
made
this
for
kind
you.
of houses. It's
And
normal.
this is me enjoying some Filipino hospitality. Thanks for the mango, Jordan.
Oh, nice mango, man.
Next, we visit Jessica and her family, who live in a gated community. Unfortunately, for all the house tours, I did a terrible job of talking and filming at the same time. So I'll be
Sorry for interrupting for a second. Gated community, I mean, they are separated in some way. Guys, I'm making a lot of questions, I know, but, you know, for me, not knowing how life it is over there, so that's why you can help me in the comments down below. So this one, I don't know, I saw a security guard over there, and maybe there is a separate community or something.
summarizing conversations a lot. Like this one, this is her father's room, and she said her mom stays at her sister's house, which shares the same backyard as this house. I went on to ask about the CR, the comfort room as it's called in the Philippines, and why not use a curtain to separate the toilet and shower.
They don't want to have curtains, but I want to have curtains. It cuts the bathroom.
Oh, it makes it too
So yes.
Make a bigger bathroom.
Yeah, that's the thing with Filipinos. They don't prioritize the bathroom. As long as there's a shower and there's a toilet bowl, that's the bathroom already. So this is my cousin's room. He's staying with us like since he was a little boy. He's been with us already. So it's not just the primary family, like father, daughter. We have my cousin here. This is supposed to be my mom's room. We usually prioritize having tambayans.
That's a beautiful
or places
house.
where you can hang out.
Tambayas.
Yeah, tambayan. We call it
Tambayan.
tambayan. Like tambay, standby.
Okay.
So there. So here we have a balcony and then overlooking everything because we want
what
to.
are you overlooking?
My dad's garden.
With this footage, I did an even worse job than the house tour.
Hanging out here. Initially, our house is just until this wall, and then we had an extension and then another extension. So Filipinos like to have extensions. Like they extend the house as long as they see a space there.
As Jessica was showing me around, her real estate mother joined us. Her and her team actually sold many of the houses in this gated community. Are you the top real estate agent?
Yes, yes.
Sometimes, my 3 kids finish colleges through my commission.
Oh.
And this is our third house.
Third house?
Yes, we have in Leyte and we have in San Pedro, Laguna.
So who were those in the other houses?
Our relatives.
Oh, okay.
So
For vacation.
For
in
vacation, we
Leyte.
go there. Normal Filipino houses have their altars.
Altar.
So we have those angels and the Trinity, the Holy Family. Then we normally have 2 dining areas.
I really like
This is
that
for
Wait,
the
why do you have two dining
Filipino
areas?
people are
that's
really,
the typical
you know,
Filipino house for the
religious.
visitors, and then that's the
This one is the family.
Yeah, but your visitors always end up there anyway.
Yes.
Now I'm skipping ahead a bit, but here's the
Wow,
fourth house I
beautiful.
visited. You see the formal dining room and then the 2 living rooms on the left and the right? Those weren't used during my visit. Instead, it was this tiny little kitchen counter table that we gathered around. I thought it was pretty funny because it's exactly what happens at my dad's place back in Canada. Anyways. Entertainment room?
Yes.
And in
Big
the
room.
evening is a bedroom.
Yes. And this is my room.
Oh, this is your room.
Yes.
Okay.
So guys, it's basically, we saw the first house over there, which, there were like not that much possibilities, and this other one. So I guess it's like, in every country is like this. That depends what your possibilities are, so.
So it's
Your room is
also-
very dark.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Also,
Wait,
we
wait,
have
that's-
lots of lightings.
These shelves.
Yes.
I've never seen them like this before.
Like
They're
these
plastic
are
ones?
plastic.
Okay, is that common? In the
Yes,
Philippines?
here.
Yeah.
Yes, in the Philippines, it's common to have drawers like this
Yeah.
because of termites.
Oh. Okay.
And plus, if you're into like, you want to move from one place to another, it's easier. Like also in Japan, this is very important to us. The rice cooker.
You should.
And the toaster. This is a new kitchen. This is my mom's dream kitchen. She wanted to have a big counter because the typical Filipino counter is just this one, and then this is where you just slice and
You
everything.
wouldn't
But
like my Japanese kitchen then.
this is where we cook our food. But we only cook simple food here. Yeah. So if you want to cook, like for example, bulalo, like the one that the beef, we cook it here. So we use firewood. So
Okay,
there.
outside,
So this
yeah.
is where my
You make a
mom is.
barbecue,
Plus,
actually.
If you cook the rice using firewood, it's a different
Flavor, yeah,
taste.
it's much
So in the province, we
flavor,
also have
taste.
This one.
Okay.
This is very essential.
I love when they cook
Yes.
food
As
with
was
wood,
the norm,
you know.
I was treated to some delicious food. So fresh fruits from her dad's garden and home cooking from her mother's kitchen. I even got a takeout container to go. Thank you. Now we're going to visit another gated community. The last one was in the provinces with houses, and now we're in Metro Manila, and this one is full of apartments and has a
Oh,
resort
so Manila.
feel to
You
it.
guys told me a lot about this
So
Manila.
like what kind of people live
I don't know
there?
why.
So you'd think middle class to upper middle class because if you look at the rent, so it's like usually the range is 18 to 25,000 for rent, and if you were someone that works in the office, if you were
Let me get this straight. For 1 month, in this middle class, it's from $350 to $500 a month. And that means roughly like 25,000 pesos, if I'm seeing correctly. Wow. Okay, that I don't know how what's the salary, the middle class salary over there to maybe he's gonna tell us in this video. But yeah, well, or maybe because this is the area that you guys told me, Manila, that it's a little bit higher, like more expensive.
Maybe in that office for like 5 years or so, your salary would be around the 30,000 range. So only when you're a manager of a department, you look at a 50,000 peso salary. So it's usually the people that are making at least 50 to 70 can afford a place like this.
So let's take a little
Okay,
tour
I got
of
it.
the facilities
So, yeah.
available. There's a few
$600
This one's
to
for
pay
labs.
like 400 for
Behind it
rent.
is a covered basketball
You
court.
cannot afford
And
it.
in another building, we find the indoor gym. There were signs for noise and littering, and indeed, the place was quieter and cleaner than other places I visited. They have a little convenience store, and importantly, a place to fill up with clean water. There's even a water reservoir on top just in case. It's also right on the river with some green space to walk your dogs.
Yeah, this is a nice place.
That's the river.
Mali. Hey.
So do you go swim in there?
No.
Hell no.
So is that unit with the plastic over top, is that just for shade?
Yeah. The one in the back is banana.
Ah, the cat. I love cats.
When I asked to film inside, this is the response I got.
Oh, but it's so messy and ugly and dirty.
Or over here, just with the plants. Just
Now
like
everyone
from
knows.
this direction. From this spot looks pretty good.
He got all of it. He got all of it.
But they did let me film a bit of their workspace, which they use for their online jobs. And in the background, you can see houses that I
Ooh, that
didn't
looked
film
nice.
inside of at all are informal settlements, are ISFs.
People would build their houses to it to a point where it's already cement. It's not like wooden houses anymore. And then, so somebody's like, oh, let's develop this land now. They have to move. But
Right.
like, our house is already made of stone. It's already cemented. It's not like we can pack up and go. Our livelihoods are here. So, and then they would like, well, wherever we're gonna go, you have to give us housing. That's been an issue past 3 years. And then they send them to the provinces where there's like actual houses. And then they go back saying, oh, we couldn't find any livelihood there.
It's estimated that 1.3 million people, or 11% of Metro Manila's population, live in informal settlements. I'll quote the World Bank Group report. With in-migration of those aspiring for better lives from rural areas to urban centers came surges in demand for jobs, housing, infrastructure, and basic services in major cities. Yet, the government has been unable to address the increased demand given the accelerated pace. The result has been proliferation of informal settlers in urban areas without adequate access to decent living conditions. If you look at the wires, most ISFs have access to electricity, although it's expensive. In fact, the fifth most expensive in the world. As such, many resort to shared connection or jump in,
fifth more
an illegal
expensive?
connection
Wow.
to neighbors or public electricity. Only 46% of the homes have a proper connection. In my previous video, I already talked about how waste collection was an issue. What I didn't mention was that besides polluting the waterways when trash is dumped in there and polluting the air when burned, solid waste leaches into and contaminates the soil, causing health issues. And in my first video about the Philippines, I covered what the commute is like. Transportation is a huge expense for residents in informal settlements, currently comprising 15% of household expenditure and is only set to go higher as congestion in Metro Manila worsens. There are a variety of transportation methods that a Filipino student can take. For example, there's this school.
I'm gonna stop for 1 second over here because I was thinking about the salary, the rent. So I don't, guys, in a lot of countries, there aren't any more, how should I say, the middle class, unfortunately. So it's the low class or the high class. The middle, it's really, they're struggling a lot. So I'm thinking about, the average salary. So if you have like $350 or $400 a month, and you have to pay the rent, and you have to pay the electricity, which I don't know yet how much. and maybe you have one or two kids, you have to provide for food, the clothing, the clothes, the education, the school, which I don't know how much it costs, and it's really really hard, man. But then but still seeing this and watching how Filipino people are, with always smiling and always happy and always it's something outstanding. I mean, you really have to appreciate these people that they're seeing the positive side of the things. So
service van. You'll also see students being picked up in trikes that are likely picking them up according to a pre-booked schedule. In the case of the family I stayed with, they had a van that came right to their gates for the pickup. It's this extra transportation cost, as well as uniforms, textbooks, school supplies, and lunches that make the free kindergarten to grade 12 public education system not truly free. As a result of those living in informal settlements, 22.4% had up to elementary school education or lower, and 30.6% were high school dropouts. So basically, half the residents don't graduate from high school, and the main reason seems to be financial, both because of the cost of education as well as the opportunity cost of not having young family members contribute at an early age.
Life is hard.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, we enter yet another gated community to see how the super wealthy live in Metro Manila. They have security guards that actually do proper security checks,
Oh, super wealthy.
we needed an
Okay.
inside connection to get in. Once inside, the cityscape totally transformed. This could pass for a street in Canada or the United States if you just took a quick glance. The streets weren't busy, it wasn't noisy,
Wow.
there were plenty of trees. There were joggers and dog walkers, and even houses with front yards. However, there were some giveaways that this wasn't a typical, if not wealthier, Canadian neighborhood. First of all, there were the gates restricting access to the area. Then there was the shiny fire truck out on the street. Lastly, there were the hired cleaners ensuring the roads were tidy. And I specifically said Canadian neighborhood because while there are plenty of gated communities in the United States, they are few and far between in Canada. To live here, in this exclusive Makati neighborhood, you need to be a millionaire. This is truly where the elites live, especially seeing as the mean household income in the Philippines is around $5,000 US.
Wow. Like I was saying, guys, I mean, the middle class is not there anymore. I mean, you're, low class, or this guy's over here. I mean, the thing that I don't like is kind of, how should I say, I mean, gates between neighborhoods. It's like you keep the lower class outside. I don't even know how to put it. I don't really like this because it should be equal, but I know the life sucks in a lot of ways.
Since we're talking about money, let me tell you about these guys that fish for a living. We caught them organizing their hooks under a busy bridge, so the audio was unusable at some points. So they told us they go out on the water every day from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. fishing using a flashlight. They sell the fish at a local market and then have to
So 7 p.m. to 4. Wow. I mean, the average, like, going to work.
Market and then have to reset the 4,000 fish hooks that they cast. Back over at Jordan's place, we learn about his current employment status.
I am not employed right now.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
In Japan or Canada, when you're unemployed, the government gives you money. So does the Filipino government give you money?
No. A big no.
Ouch.
Because if the government gave you money,
Nobody would work.
Okay, so then how do you survive?
Here in the
Yeah,
Philippines,
but they can help you for a
if
period
we
of
don't
time
have
where
a
you can
job,
find the job.
we still look for some racket, some side jobs to survive. Yeah, party organizer. Yeah, like that.
Oh, okay.
We do some pre-birthday shoots, birthday presentations, like that. But with family, we help each other to survive. Yeah.
So he lives with his sister, brother-in-law, and nephew, and
It's my brother. He's the one who only got a job here.
over at Nicole and Norman's, we learn about online work.
So I actually started in corporate, and then I kind of just got tired of corporate, so I decided to look for more freelance work because I had enough experience in my resume to say I can do certain things. It's a lot of project management, so a lot of e-commerce, website creation, Amazon stores, so whatever you can do on the internet, basically I just figured out how to do and I offer it as a service. I actually just have one main client now, so that's usually enough to get you by, because when you just compare the cost of living to how much you can earn in dollar, like it's very competitive. It's even much better than I used to make in corporate.
Do you mind me asking how much you make? Or?
I make anywhere between $700 to $1,000 per month, like just depending on if I can get more projects in.
Right now, I'm a web developer for a Canadian company.
Okay, so like kind of like outsourced?
Okay.
Yes. With our qualifications and our educated background, you'd think that we'd be doing more with our potential.
A good example of this is Nicole and Norman, who both went to the third-ranked university in the Philippines, De La Salle. Nicole has a bachelor's degree in creative writing, while Norman has a computer science degree major in software development.
See, education.
Say from the US.
But if you cannot afford it,
from Canada,
I mean, how?
They have certain expectations from like someone who was educated in a third world country, right? So it's not they. In other words, they just don't trust us with something a lot bigger, like. What do you call it?
Business relies on this person.
Yeah. It's just. It's too much of a risk. I mean, you've never met the person. They're thousands of miles away. They're educated in a third world country. You don't know them quite that well.
Beyond online work from home, or for a BPO, a business process outsourcing company, there are many Filipinos working overseas. They are called OFWs, or Overseas Filipino Workers, and as of 2018, there were 2.3 million of them.
Wow.
One example of a former OFW was our truck driver. He worked abroad in Saudi Arabia as a driver for about 3 years. Using that money, he was able to get a house. However, he didn't own his own trike, so he went abroad again, this time to Dubai for a year and a half and bought his own.
Bagong labas po to, Motorstar. Kilala niyo po ba si Manny Pacquiao? Siya po ang endorser ng Motorstar.
While some people I talked to had ambitions of becoming a citizen of a foreign country, many others did something similar to our trike driver, who used it as a way to get a step up in life. Interestingly, while he owns his own trike, he says he doesn't make more than others in his association. But because he's an owner, he doesn't need to work in the evenings like the other guys. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So Filipinos, from at least from what I've read and from observation, is they're willing to bear that the whole you're going out of the country for several years, you're not going to see your family, just to give them a better life because you're earning more than you ever could here. Because how much does a nurse make here? 15,000 pesos. That's
These numbers are from an online job site for Filipino workers, so I can't vouch for its accuracy, but having talked to several different locals, they don't appear far off. The column in the left is what Filipinos can make working locally, while the column on the right is what they could make working online. My next interviewee has also been working online, but is now in the process of moving to Japan to become an OFW doing factory work.
So I'm Cyprine and I'm from Baguio City. Okay, so I worked for a call center for like almost over 2 years, and that is for inbound account wherein we accept calls. So we take orders and set them for pickup and delivery.
Okay, and for who was it for?
Okay, so it is for Swiss Chalet.
Oh, Swiss Chalet. Not only a Canadian restaurant, it was, no lie, my favorite restaurant when I was young. I asked her what kind of money she made.
I started for 12,000 for my first year.
In comparison, the NCR, the National Capital Region, has the highest minimum wage in the Philippines at 537 pesos, or about $10 US a day. However, where she lives in Baguio, minimum wage was more like 300 pesos a day. So by taking calls for Swiss Chalet, she was able to make nearly double what she could have with local jobs.
For now, I'm working as a home-based online teacher.
Her online work, which is teaching English to Chinese students, has the potential to make nearly double what her starting wage was taking calls for Swiss Chalet. So it's easy to understand why she upgraded to a job that she can do from home and on an hourly basis. However, recently, she's been training to work in Japan.
For me, I will be working as a weaving operator in a company. I think
And you have
that
to invent
most
yourself
of the
over there,
Filipinos would,
honestly, or
take
reinvent
this
yourself.
opportunity to to work overseas because of the salary, of course, and for the experience to go out of the country, and of course to support their family financially.
Supporting the family was a reoccurring theme in all conversations I had with Filipinos.
I'm paying for my brother's tuition fee because my parents can't pay for it. So a lot of people will be in that same situation. They have siblings, they have parents who need their financial support.
That's a very classic story.
Yeah.
If anything, that's an expectation for siblings, right?
With Cyprine, it was her family who helped pay for her 2-year information technology course, and it's also her family, especially her older sisters, who are helping to pay for her training to go to Japan.
My father is an OFW, so that's why he was the one who financially supported us. He's been in Canada for like 6 to 7 years, and before he was able to work in other countries as well. So we grew up
He made
not
sacrifices
being
to
with
help
him
the children.
for
but
a very long time.
Recently,
Man,
her
this is
father got
sad.
permanent residency in Canada, and while her mother and youngest brother, who is 15, were able to join him, Cyprine and her 3 other siblings were too old to be sponsored. While I previously said that there were currently 2.3 million Filipinos working overseas, an even more surprising statistic is that an estimated 10.2 million Filipinos have lived or worked abroad. Given that the country has a population of around 100 million, that's a good 10% who are or have been overseas.
Hi, I have a big eyes.
Okay. And I think every Filipino family has somebody abroad.
My sons, 2 sons, no? They are working in a ship. One of the reason why they are working abroad.
The way she said it, that most of Filipinos have somebody who works abroad, but it's not only in Philippines that happens this. In a lot of other countries, Ukraine, Romania, Spain, you have to do some sacrifices because unfortunately sometimes you are not giving a choice where you are born. And if the family cannot help you when you are young to study and everything, it's going to be even worse. And the system, it's so fucked up in some countries. Let's take Iceland, for example. In Iceland, the education, it's free. I mean, what the hell? So yeah, but some story. I'm sorry because it's not easy for a lot of fathers, mothers, brothers to be away from their family, but they have to do it because they can help for their family to live decently at least.
They like to see other places free. Of course, the salary is
Triple.
When you work abroad, the most minimum, in a cruise ship where I worked, the smallest wage that you could receive is $500 a month, and that you don't pay for rent, you don't pay for food.
Yes.
That's $500 take home.
Jessica's mother has 2 sisters working overseas, one in Japan in a tofu factory, and one in Canada in a senior's home. Please indulge me for a second as I flash back to an earlier scene.
So this is my cousin's room. He's staying with us since he was a little boy.
So he's staying here right now because his sister's working in Canada.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will he really go to Canada one day?
Maybe
someday.
someday.
Right now he doesn't want.
3 to 4 years from now.
He doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to
How old
right
is he
now. 14.
14.
Yeah, it's hard age to move to a different country, right?
It's still young.
Halika lang.
That's him.
Especially
Asan
Especially Edmonton. Especially Edmonton.
Yeah, because he saw the lifestyle of her mom there. Like they don't have no. This is my cousin. Yeah.
My mom is in Canada working in.
So your mom's in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you visited Edmonton?
No.
You
Ask
have
him
never visited Edmonton?
No.
Not yet.
How long
Do you have any plans of going there?
My sister, almost 9 years
She's
in
been
Canada.
9 years.
Yes, 9 years.
So how often does she come back?
Every
2
3 years.
2 years?
Every
3
3
years?
years.
3 years.
Visit.
Every 3 years only.
Visit in Philippines.
Yes, and then
For
she
how
stays here
long?
for a month.
A month.
A month.
Wow.
You always prioritize your family before yourself, so that's why.
No, there was music. I'm doing the takoyaki first. Wow, okay.
Wow, what is this? It's meat?
And in Tagaytay, so we can find out about a popular Filipino export, bananas.
I actually went to a few plantations in Davao. So Davao in Mindanao is the banana capital of the Philippines, basically. It's where we grow all the Cavendish for Dole and Del Monte.
So she's talking about Cavendish bananas like this, which account for nearly half of global banana production.
The thing about regulation there, it's very strict.
Wow.
Like, to be export quality, you have to fulfill certain standards. So if the bunch of bananas don't fulfill that, then they usually get rejected. So they're all put into this pile, either for disposal or it's just gonna become animal feed. Because Filipinos don't eat Cavendish.
Instead, they'd prefer something like the latundan, which I'm told are long and sweet and make great milkshakes, or the lakatan, which is smaller, paler, starchier, and more filling. Now for that travel footage. While in the Philippines, I traveled a fair bit, often stuck in places a bit noisier than I like. Instead of only giving you a one...
It's hard. It's hard, but I know how it is. And you have to do what you have to do. I'm sorry about those kind of things that were like, fences and keep separating the communities. I didn't like that. Like I was saying, in my vision, it should be equal, but I know it's hard. And again, about the education system, which I guess it should be more, they should give more support to a lot of people and children that with the study, they can do something, and being able to support their families and study and yeah. But, like I was saying when I paused a little bit the video, Filipino people are amazing for trying to see the positive in everything, trying to survive with their smile on their faces and sing. So maybe now I understand. I don't know how it's possible that 99% of Philippines have amazing voices, but I understand how singing can make you feel, even if the life is hard, So yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna keep covering some other things from Philippines as well. So if you want to join me in this ride, subscribe to the channel. Again, shout out to Philippines. You're amazing people over there. Keep strong. Go ahead. Life, it's hard, but let's hope it's gonna get better and better. I don't know, another question that I had and I didn't solve over here. How is the health system? I mean, it's covered, you need insurance or not. I'm curious about that as well, but maybe in other documentaries, we're gonna check it out. So again, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Don't forget, there is another channel, Alex and Channel. You can find the link down below in the description. Go and show some support over there as well. And you can see as well me to have a lot of other reactions to all over the world, and especially music reactions. And yeah, like I always say, till next time, stay safe and be strong, Filipino people.